Hello, good morning kids, everybody. Ready for Birbel Akber Stories? Okay, this time no interruption for sure, I promise you all. Okay, you want to get better and better for you all. Don't forget, one day we're gonna share stories with PM, right? We're gonna talk to him and tell him the children under 10 should get this 6 lakh thing, 1,000 a month with the education. I would educate you all so beautifully that you all will really be masters and reach out to the genius within with God inside your heart, because your hearts are so big, beautiful, right? You can recite the God in it, and together we can make it. We'll reach out to our Narendra Modi and tell him that, look, whatever you're doing is good, but you must keep us in mind 24/7 how we are, with the guidance from God. You will be able to get our support, and we will stand by you, all of us together, okay? Oneness. Birbal caught the thief. Birbal grew more and more famous. In time, he became the king's favorite. Akbar would consult him in all matters and gave him great powers. He used to solve most of the problems of Akbar's court. Once a rich merchant's house was burgled. The merchant was angry and he suspected that the thief was one among his servants. He tried to find out who the thief was on his own but failed. He approached Birbal and narrated the whole incident. Birbal went to the merchant's house and ordered all the servants to assemble in the front hall. When all the 5 servants had assembled, Birbal asked them about the burglary. On inquiry, all the servants denied the charges. Birbal knew that one of them was the culprit, and so he came up with an idea. Birbal then gave each one of them a stick of the same length and told them to go home with a stick. He also said that their sticks were magical sticks and would become shorter by 2 inches in length by the next day, but the stick of the real thief would remain the same. The servants went home with the sticks. Next day, Birbal called all the servants and asked them to show their sticks. He found that the stick of one of the servants was short by 2 inches. He then declared that he was the thief. Merchant and others were surprised at Birbal's decision. Birbal explained that the thief who took home the stick got worried and thought that if it was a magical stick, then his stick would not become short like that of others. So he cut off 2 inches from the stick, fearing he would be caught. But in fact, it was not a magical stick. Rather, it was an ordinary stick. Akbar was very happy with Birbal's fair judgment. Wow. Parvez and Rihaz, okay. They are 2 friends. Once upon a time, there lived 2 friends named Parvez and Rihaz in the kingdom of Akbar. They were very good friends, but while Parvez was honest, Rihaz was not. But unluckily, Parvez didn't know this. Both of them were having rice mills of their own. One fine day, Rihaz came to Parvez and said, "Friend, I'm going through losses. Will you please lend me 100 gold coins?" Parvez at once gave him the 100 gold coins. Rihaz said, "Don't you want a receipt?" Parvez laughed at him and said, "I don't need a receipt. I trust you as you're my friend." "Okay, I will pay you back within a month. Thanks for your timely help." Many days and months passed, but Rihaz did not come back with the money. So one day, Parvez went to Rihaz's house and asked Rihaz, "Can you please return me back the 100 gold coins I gave?" Rihaz pretended as if he did not understand what he was trying to say. "Parvez, what are you talking about?" Parvez was stunned. He made many attempts to remind his friend, but Rihaz remained obstinate and denied every word of Parvez. Parvez left Rihaz's house with a heavy heart. He could not believe that his best friend had betrayed him. Looking him in such a bad and sad mood, his wife asked, "Why are you looking so sad?" Parvez told her everything about Rihaz. His wife did not know what to do. Suddenly, she thought of an idea. She told her husband, "Why don't you go to Birbal? I'm sure he will be able to help us." Now, Birbal was well known for the sense of justice and his wit all through the kingdom. So Parvez went to him and asked for his help. Birbal asked him, "Do you have any written document about the amount of money you gave him?" "No. Parvez is my best friend, so I didn't bother to take the receipt from him." Birbal was disappointed, could not understand what to do. But then he told Parvez, "Don't worry, I will think of some way out and retrieve your money." Parvez returned home with the hope Birbal was thinking hard. Firstly, let me confirm if Parvez is speaking the truth. He devised a plan. Few days later, Birbal sent 2 bags of rice to both Riaz and Parvez to be ground to flour. He intentionally put a bag of 100 gold coins in each bag. Birbal's men came to both Riaz and Parvez. Grind this rice and we will come today evening to collect the bags. By the evening, both Riaz and Parvez sent back the bags of rice flour. But in Parvez's bag, Birbal found 100 gold coins. On the note was written in neat handwriting by Parvez, "Sir, you dropped the 100 gold coins in this rice bag by mistake, so I am sending them back." On the other hand, when Parvez found the bag of gold coins, he was delighted. He could not believe that he had got those coins for free. He knew Birbal must have dropped the bag by accident, forgotten about it. He told his wife to keep the gold coins. His wife asked from where he had got them, and Riaz narrated her the whole story. So when Riaz's bag of rice flour came back to Birbal, there was no gold coins in it. Furthermore, even the amount of flour in it was less in weight than that in Parvez's bag. Birbal was now sure that Parvez was an honest man. So he called both Parvez and Riaz to the court next day. Next morning, both Parvez and Riaz came to the court. Riaz was a little scared, but when he thought he doesn't have any proof to prove me guilty, yesterday I dropped 2 bags of 100 gold coins in the rice bags that I had sent to both of you. Parvez returned it back to me, but you didn't. Where is my bag? Riaz pretended that as if he was not able to understand what people were saying. Humor. Hazur, what coins are you talking about? Soon you will know what I'm talking about. He ordered his servants to go to Riaz's house and told them to ask his wife to give the 100 gold coins which was found in the rice bag the previous day. Riaz's wife thought her husband wanted the money, so she gave the gold coins to Birbal's men. When the servants returned to the court, Riaz was caught unawares. He was not in a position to say anything in the defense. He made apologize for his mistake. Then he returned the gold coins to Birbal and Parvez. Wow! Beautiful. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Don't you all love? See, full of wisdom. Nice, no? Poet Raidas. In the town of Agra, there lived a rich man. Vaheguru. In the town of Agra, there lived a rich businessman, but he was also quite a miser. Various people gathered outside his house every day hoping for some kind of generosity, but they always had to return home disappointed. He used to ward them off with false promises and then never lived up to his word. Then one day a poet named Raidas arrived at his house and said that he wanted to read out his poems to the rich man. As the rich man was very fond of poetry, he welcomed him in with open arms. Raidas started to recite all his poems one by one. The rich man was very pleased, and especially so when he heard the poem that Raidas had written on him, because he had been compared with Kubera, the god of wealth. In those days, it was a custom for rich men and kings to show their appreciation through a reward or a gift, and that was the only means of earning that the poor poet possessed. So the rich man promised Raidas some gifts and asked him to come and collect them. The next day, Raidas was pleased. The next morning, when he arrived at the house, the rich man pretended that he had never laid eyes on him before. When Raidas reminded him of his promise, he said that although Raidas was a good poet, he understood very little of human nature, and that if rich businessman truly wanted to reward him, he would have done on the very same night. He said that Raidas had been offered a reward not because he was really pleased or impressed, but he simply encouraged him. Raidas was extremely upset, but as there was nothing that he could do, he quietly left the house. On his way home, he saw Birbal riding a horse, so he stopped him and asked for his help. After narrating the whole incident, Birbal took him to his own house in order to come up with a plan. After giving it some thought, he asked Raidas to go to a friend's house with 5 gold coins and request his friend to plan a dinner on the coming full moon night, and where the rich man should also be invited. Birbal then asked Raidas to relax and leave the rest to him. Raidas had one trustworthy friend whose name was Mayadas. And so he went to him and told him the plan. The next day, Mayadas went to the rich man's house and invited him for dinner. The dinner had been planned for the coming full moon night. He said that he intended to serve his guests in vessels of gold, which the guests would get to take home after the meal. Wow! The rich man was thrilled to hear this and jumped at his offer. After sunset on the full moon night, the rich man arrived at Mayadas' house and was surprised to see no other guest but Raidas. Anyhow, they welcomed him in and started a polite conversation. The rich man had come on an empty stomach and so was getting hungrier minute by minute. Raidas and Mayadas were quite full as they had eaten just before the rich man's arrival. Finally, at midnight, the rich man... Wow, beautiful. After sunset on the full moon night, finally midnight, the